Hare Krishna, my name is Giridhari Das and welcome back to my channel. And today we'll be talking about a very important, essential teaching of the Bhagavad-gītā by reading a very beautiful Bhagavad-gītā verse. So we'll be talking today about equanimity, the sweet perfection of a stable mind, which is a central point in yoga, and a central point just to be happy. To live well in this life. And again, if you like this kind of content, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It's free for you, and it really helps the channel to get known and get recognized by YouTube. Okay, so we'll be reading from Bhagavad-gītā verse 19, chapter 5, and I want to read for you the Sanskrit and then the translation, and then we'll talk about this supremely important topic of equanimity. So let's go. Ihaiva tair jitaḥ sargo yeṣāṁ sāmye sthitaṁ manaḥ nirdoṣaṁ yeṣāṁ brahma tasmād brahmaṇi sthitaḥ. Translation. Those whose minds are established in sameness and equanimity have already conquered the conditions of birth and death. They are flawless like Brahman, and thus they are already situated in Brahman. It's beautiful. So here it goes. So equanimity, what is this sameness and equanimity of the mind? How is that possible? Well, let's see how it's not possible first, which is what we're all doing right now. Why is it not common to have sameness and equanimity? Because people normally have their minds focused on matter. So their minds are focused on the results, on what matter, what reality is bringing to them. And they have expectations of what they want, what they don't want. So it's like, I have money, I don't have money, I could pay my bills, I couldn't pay my bills, I had a nice meal, I didn't have a nice meal. You know, you had sex, you didn't have sex, and you're feeling good about your body, you're not. So it's all like, you know, it's all about matter and the way reality is coming. Somebody was nice to you, somebody wasn't nice to you. You know, it's too hot, it's too cold. And so your mind is outside, your mind is stuck in matter, mundane consciousness. Now, what happens with a mundane consciousness, amongst other things, is that matter is always changing, right? It's the nature of the material world. Nothing stays the same, right? So it's, again, it's hot now, it's cold then, it's summer, it's winter, you're sick, you're healthy, you've got a job, you don't have a job, you know, you meet people, they're nice to you, they're not nice, everything's changing all the time, throughout the day, every day. So it would be impossible, therefore, to have your mind in sameness and equanimity if your mind is attached, is analyzing matter, your mundane reality. It's impossible, right? So then you have those ups and downs, you know, and you're feeling good now and you're not now, and that's good, and now it's bad, and now it's good, and you know, it's bad and it's bad. And usually that's like, it stays bad and then it gets a little good and then it's really bad. So, because your mind is in the wrong place. So how can we get sameness and equanimity? What is Krishna talking about in the Bhagavad-gītā? Well, the trick then is that our minds are not going to be focused on this ever-changing mundane reality. No. My evaluation, my parameter for deciding if life is good or not is no longer matter, no longer reality as it's coming to me in all its varieties and forms, but rather what I am doing in relation to this reality. Okay, this is the key paradigm shift. I'm no longer happy or unhappy based on what reality is bringing me, but I am now focusing on what I am doing in relation to reality. It is now my action which is my parameter, which is what I am concerned with, and not what's happening to me. It's what I'm doing and not what's being done to me. Huge difference. It's humongous. It's very important. Why is this so good Couple of things. First thing, reality coming to me. If my happiness is dependent on this reality coming to me, boy, you're in trouble, right? Because guess what? You don't control reality. I mean, last time you checked, you're not God. You have no control over reality. You can't decide what the weather is going to be like. You can't decide what the economy is going to be like. You can't decide how people are going to act around you, because you don't control other people. You wish you did, but you don't. So it's out of our control. So how can I have my happiness be dependent on something out of my control? Obviously, I'm going to be filled with anxiety. I'm going to be depressed because I'm out of control. My life is out of control. The things that I would need to control are not in my control. So then you have a miserable life. What about your action? That is completely in your control, right? How I respond, what I do, it's actually completely in my control. Nobody can tell me what to do. I mean, yeah, I can live in a situation where the police says, okay, but then I can, get out of there, do something else. But my situation, what I'm doing, how I'm responding to reality is absolutely only up to me. So I go from 0% control, practically speaking, to 100% control. In other words, my happiness, my well-being is now entirely in my hands, as opposed to just being a victim of circumstances and complaining about things not working out for me. Now, I'm the one in control. Second great thing about equanimity, about this focus on your action. Now, I can control my action, and now I have one sameness, equanimity, one, they all mean just one thing. I have one response to reality. It's like, how can you have one response to this ever-changing, ever-varied reality? Well, it's really simple. My one response always in yoga is that I want to do my very best. The words we use in Sanskrit, dharma and bhakti. So whatever reality brings, I have one thing to worry about. What is my dharma? Which means what is my purpose? What is my duty in this situation? What is the best of me? What is the best response of me? The best version of me? How does the very best version of me respond to this situation? At every moment, whatever situation you're in, what is the very best version of me should do in this case? So that's dharma. And then bhakti. Bhakti means devotion, means love, right? The whole purpose of yoga is to develop this devotion, bhakti, love to God. So that's completely up to me. And that's love, so it's a beautiful feeling, right? The more you can express love and live in a state of bhakti, endless bliss awaits you. So there's this one answer, dharma and bhakti. It's a two-pronged answer, but it is one answer. Dharma and bhakti. So that's how I get sameness. That's how I experience transcendence while in this life. That's how I practice transcendence in this mundane life. An embodied mundane life, day-to-day stuff, stuck in traffic, taking care of children, going to work, paying your taxes. That's how I experience transcendence. I don't have to go to the top of a mountain. I don't have to hide in a temple. Arjuna wanted to hide. He wanted to run away from the battlefield. And Krishna said, no, this is your dharma. You're a big general. You spent your whole life, you're a fighter, you've trained on all the, you're like the champion. You're like the martial artist of the century. You can't run away from a battle. That's not right. That's not you. What happens in the battle doesn't matter, but you get up and fight because that's who you are. You don't have to run away to experience transcendence, to experience bliss. You don't have to, try to hide from life. Because when you focus on just matter, then you're going to try to hide from it, right? You're like, oh, it's too much, I can't live in society, and I can't do this, and I can't get married even, I can't even have children, and people are like, they're taking these vows, they're like living alone in a cave. No, we don't have to do that. That's not the main path of yoga. Because in any situation, there I have an experience to practice dharma and bhakti. Sameness. My mind is focused on the same thing. And my parameter for happiness, again, is how well I'm doing in practicing dharma and bhakti. Not what society is doing, not what reality is doing, what the universe is bringing me. No. My reality for my happiness, for my well-being, is to, what I'm looking at is how well am I practicing dharma and bhakti. You know, and as long as I know, look, I really try to do my best. Nobody's perfect. Krishna says no one's perfect. Krishna says all actions are covered with mistakes, as all fire is covered with smoke. So there's no perfection. So forget perfection, but you're trying your best. And then you can be really happy. And I'm telling you this from my own personal experience, from my students. It's so powerful to live this teaching. It's so powerful. It's the only way to be happy, really. The only way to achieve peace. Because again, Krishna says in the Bhagavad-gītā, how can you be happy without peace? And how can you have peace if you're not in control of that thing which decides your well-being? If you're not in command of your life, if you're depending on circumstances and, oh, I can only be happy if that person says yes, or if the economy does this, or if I get that. No, you can't be happy like that. Your action, what's coming from you, that's sameness and equanimity in yoga. So that's it. Let me know if you have any questions, if it wasn't clear. And also if you have any questions, not only on this topic, but on any topic, because I always like hearing from you a lot. Or just if you have nice things to say, it's fine. Criticism, it's okay. I can take it too. And if you have questions, especially, I want to hear from you. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna.